Oh, hi. I didn't hear you come in. Welcome to week 12, English 2332, in which we're going to talk about Geoffrey Chaucer and the general prologue of the Canterbury Tales. Now, I'll be honest with you. When I was in college, we studied Chaucer and Canterbury Tales. I didn't really like it. Never really got into it. Don't know if my mind was elsewhere, if my professor was elsewhere. Not sure of the disconnect, but it's just one of those things that I didn't really enjoy as much as other parts. So if you don't enjoy this or other parts, that's okay. But we're still going to cover it because of the valuable contributions. If you look at some of the stuff I've just posted up under the Middle Ages tab in the folder called Chaucer, you'll see that he's called the father of English poetry. He is credited with giving birth to a new type of the English language, a new popular version of English, in which he wrote so that the common people could read it, not Latin, not French, something very ordinary, the vernacular. And he did have a way with words, and he was a wonderful storyteller. Now, you're going to want to review his life because he does have a fairly interesting life. And the story of the Canterbury Tales is about these pilgrims who, well, at this time in the Middle Ages, it was popular for rich people just to pack up and get out of town, get out of London for a little bit, go to a place called Canterbury, which is a shrine for Sir Thomas of Becket, who was killed by the king. And yeah, that's a interesting story there too. But you want to read about that because these characters are going there, and the host proposes a contest. They're all met at this place called the Tabard Inn, and he says, "Okay, we're staying out tomorrow morning, and in order to help us pass the time, we're going to tell stories." And the plan was to have two stories there and two stories back from each pilgrim. I think there were 30 pilgrims, so it's an incomplete work, but still fascinating as all get out, and lots of interesting stories there. The wife of Bath's tale, the knight's tale, the squire's tale, the miller's tale. Uh, Lots of good information. I encourage you to at least read about Chaucer himself and about the general prologue. I've posted the link for you. It's only 850 lines. It's not really very long. But and then go on and read some more if that kind of grabs your interest a little bit. Look for themes, look for ideas, look for characterization. You can now Chaucer makes fun of the clergy a lot. Everybody did back then. And so it's useful to know who the clergy were. I posted a handout on that, another handout on who some of the main characters were and their relative importance and some of their characteristics. It's very useful to understand each pilgrim's place in the hierarchy of their society. Generally, they would fall into either clergy, meaning attached to the church, or court, meaning royalty, or commoner, meaning none of the above. Commoners weren't necessarily poor, although most of them generally were, and royalty weren't necessarily rich, although by far most of them were. But anyway, kind of keep in mind that they had a very segmented, a very striated society, and so these interactions are interesting, comical, fun to watch, and you kind of get into some of these characters. But I do encourage you to learn about his life and learn what makes him such an important figure in English literature. And if you have any questions, let me know. Back to reading more Chaucer.